Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? We learned today that Gayle Benson has outlined her future succession plan for the Saints and the Pelicans. She gave an interview to WVUE and Times-Picayune, and she said the plan is obviously the goal is to keep both franchises in New Orleans permanently. And when Mrs. Benson, who's 74 years old, when she passes, the two franchises will be sold, and the proceeds from the sale will be donated to New Orleans charities in the fields of education, healthcare, arts and sciences, and humanitarian causes. And I looked up the numbers. The combined estimated value of the Saints and the Pelicans is just shy of $4 billion, which will be, whenever the day comes, and hopefully it's many years from now, and that number is much higher than $4 billion. But whenever that day comes, that will be an incredible benefit that could reshape the city when you can inject billions of dollars into charitable causes around New Orleans. So I hope it's not for many, many, many years, but when it comes, obviously that's such an amazingly generous thing, and that apparently was the objective that Tom Benson had before he passed, was to sell the franchises and at his passing and then donate the proceeds to charity. Of course, Tom Benson, before his death, had falling out with his family. They became estranged. There was a big legal battle over the succession plan when he wanted to will the franchises not to Rita Benson LeBlanc, but to instead his wife, Gayle Benson. We all kind of know how that went. But with the strange twist in this, sort of plot twist, is that Tom Benson flirted with the idea of moving the franchises to San Antonio in the lowest moment the city of New Orleans ever had. Post-Katrina, Tom Benson was low-key having conversations about moving the franchise to San Antonio. And thankfully, Paul Tagliabue stepped in and said, that's not happening. And after his marriage to Gayle Benson, she spent so many years reshaping his public image to where he became known and his legacy is now as a great philanthropist and the man who kept the Saints and the NBA franchise, the then Hornets, now Pelicans, in New Orleans when George Shinn sold. I mean, it's incredible how that legacy has been redefined and will only continue to add more building blocks upon it because of what Gayle Benson is going to do here. Dennis Lauscha, the president of the Saints, will act as executor of the estate. And the other thing that's happening is that the city and the team are currently working on a long-term lease agreement. The current lease agreement runs through 2025. And they're working on a long-term agreement. Now, remember, and I just learned this today as I was reading through this, the NFL has a policy against teams breaching a lease agreement to switch markets. Now, if you were going to leave a venue, that's one thing. But switching markets is not allowed if you have a lease agreement. You can't breach that lease agreement. When the lease agreement expires, then it would be fair game. So theoretically after 2025. But it sounds so silly that we're even having this conversation. I would assume at this point it's more about the Pelicans than it would be about the Saints. But you never know what new ownership would do. But we saw the same situation with the Bills. When Ralph Wilson died in 2014, the same thing happened. Sold the franchises. His estate stole the franchises. They donated the money to charity. And the Pagula family bought the Bills, but that lease agreement had been extended, so the Bills have stayed in upstate New York. And that apparently is the same plan that's going to happen with the New Orleans Saints when Mrs. Benson does pass, and the franchises are primed then to stay in New Orleans. What they need is obviously Louisiana ownership. Whoever would be next, you would hope would be a Louisiana business person or family that would buy the franchise with the intent of keeping it in New Orleans, keeping the franchises in New Orleans for forever. So, but that is certainly foundationally great news because it all but guarantees that those two franchises will be in New Orleans at minimum through the lease agreement, however long that may be, that Mrs. Benson and the Saints sign with the city when they do it, in fact, extend it, and hoping for many, many years beyond that, forever. Why not? Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.